Hi guys, welcome to Living Raw with Rosie. So we are about 10.5 hours into our drive today, and like I mentioned on my video earlier, this is the time that I start getting really sleepy, that I have to fight my sleep. So I thought I'd do a quick little video on basically struggles that I went through transitioning to mostly raw plant-based diet. So one of the biggest struggles, because I was thinking about this earlier, was that transitional state where I had mentioned this before. You start losing a lot of weight and it's good and you start feeling good, and then the bad feeling kicks in where you get lethargic, weak, you could start getting cramps on your legs, and that's the part where we have to start, doing research on, like, why is this happening? And in my case, it was basically my body was not absorbing all the vitamins and nutrients from what I was eating because of all the gook that I had in my stomach lining and my intestinal walls. So instead of absorbing that, everything I was eating was just coming out. And it does that because I was going through a detox mode. That's why it's very important when people do fasting. Sometimes fasting is great because fasting is a good beginning, but you have to be careful with fasting, because if you're not in the best of health when you fast, you could experience all these side effects that I had, because your body is not, first of all, it's not healthy enough to handle the fast, because you're already lacking a lot of vitamins and nutrients and minerals that your body doesn't get because of, like I said, all the stuff on the lining. And you have to really be careful. That's why I'm very iffy. I think healthy people that have been eating raw for a long time, that know that, like, for now I could do fasting because now I know my body is healthy enough to handle the fasting. But back then, during that detox mode, my body was not doing well, it was just a sign that I was not even healthy. So it's very important that, when you're going through that detox period, that you really concentrate and don't give up. Concentrate on trying to figure out what's going on. Drink a lot of water, because if you're getting cramps on your muscles and your legs and body, you could be lacking potassium, magnesium, sodium. I was eating a lot of celery and dark greens because back then I went straight into wanting to eat 100% raw, not realizing that my body was not absorbing the salt that it needed, or the potassium and the magnesium from the veggies and fruits alone, because it hadn't gone through that detox mode. So I was getting all these things, and then I was eating a lot of fruit that's rich in water content and vegetables, and I wasn't getting thirsty. And I was assuming that I was getting enough fluids because I wasn't thirsty. Well, that's not the case. I wasn't supposed to wait to get thirsty. I was supposed to include water in my diet, in my lifestyle, and I wasn't including. I did drink water, but not enough. And I realized that I had to eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits that are rich in salt, like celery, cucumbers, and that are mineral rich, so my body could eventually, stop going through these withdrawals. But it's kind of like a combination. Your body goes through these bad withdrawals where you feel fatigued, tired, and then at the same time you feel like you're going through a detox mode, and detox tends to hurt. It hurts, like, emotionally, physically, and you want to give up. And the thing is, you can't give up. You have to stick through it, because there is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it is worth it. So that was one of my biggest struggles. And then trying to figure out what I was missing in my diet. That's probably the hardest thing when you're eating raw, is figuring out everybody's body needs a different amount of fat content, and I was trying to do only like 10% in the beginning of my fat, and not realizing that I needed more fat. So I turned to chia seeds and some more nuts and seeds, and then that worked for a while, but then the nuts and seeds were too much fat and they were making me break out, and I was in totally detox to where I should be eating too many of those things. And then the chia seeds were great for a while, but when you're eating raw, you have to realize you can't rely, and I learned this the hard way, you can't rely on one source of omega fatty acids to get your proteins. It doesn't work that way. They have to work in a combination of many different omegas together. So I was just kind of relying on chia seeds for a while, not realizing that I wasn't getting enough of my omega fatty acids. It was supposed to be a combination of almonds through like almond milk, or through almond milk, yogurts, seeds. I was eating more nuts than seeds. I realized that I was supposed to eat actually more seeds and less nuts. And also a lot of the omega fatty acids come from dark greens. I wasn't eating that constant enough dark greens, and my body wasn't taking the omegas out of the dark greens. So that's why you always have to have a combination of everything. You can't just eat you can't get used to just eating one thing every day, because it's not going to work. You're always going to lack something. That's why it's very important to have a whole combination of everything. And the chia seeds are delicious. They're great. But if you eat them every day, they do tend to become like blood thinners, which is okay if you're like older, and it's better than taking one little aspirin a day to thin your blood if you have heart issues and stuff like that, but not when you're younger. So yeah, easy on the chia seeds. Eat them, you know, once in a while, but not every single day. And I added more seeds. So I did research on that. I found that out, and I added more sunflower seeds, because that actually has 3 components of omega fatty acids, more than chia seeds. I think chia seeds has 1 type, and the sunflower seeds have a complete 3 type of proteins. So I incorporated more sunflower seeds in my diet. I soak them and I blend them in the morning and just mix them in with my breakfast cereal. That way I know I get them, and it's a source of fat for the day. But I don't do that every day. I do that a couple of times a week, and then I do chia seeds. I do flax seeds. So I do a combination of all of them. And you also get some omega fatty acids from your dark greens. So very important to always eat dark greens every day. And if you're not able to eat them, throw them in your smoothies, juice them, but you have to have those dark greens to get those proteins, those fatty acids, because the fatty acids are what turns into protein that we need in our body. So that's one lesson that I learned. So once I started doing that and playing around with that, I stopped getting cramps in my legs. Sometimes when you get cramps in your muscles and stuff, it's the lack of salt. It didn't matter how much celery I was eating and vegetables, I wasn't getting enough salt intake. So I added pink Himalaya salt to my diet, and that seemed to help a lot. So now I'm at a point where I kind of don't even hardly use the pink salt in my diet anymore, because my body is already absorbing the sodium from the veggies, which is great. But that happens over time. It took me almost a year to figure that out, and a year for my body to adjust. So you could be eating raw for up to a year and you're still detoxing. You're still going through a detox phase. That's why it's important not to give up. It's important that you stick with it. Don't just do it for 3 months, 6 months, and then stop and say, I didn't see enough results. Because you're not going to see a lot of you're gonna see little tiny results that add up. Within a year, then you see a lot of results, and in 2 years you see a lot more results, and so on and so on. So I tend to stick with it, and the longer I stick with it, the more I eliminate bad things in my diet. For example, like I'm starting to trying to eliminate fish completely because it's so toxic and it's not good. And I had a viewer the other day that said, you know, you shouldn't be eating the fish. You'd do a lot better if you weren't eating your fish. And I said, I told her, you're right. You're absolutely right. I could feel the difference. If I even have like fish, I don't feel that good the next day. And not only that, she did mention that it's a, you know, it's an ethical thing, and she's right. It's morally and ethically wrong to eat meats and eat animals, and I totally agree with her. You know, I don't make people around me feel uncomfortable by telling them, you know, you shouldn't be eating meat. It's morally and ethically wrong to kill animals, but I do mention it. You know, once in a while, like in the beginning, I would tell my husband when he would be eating meat, I go, you know, it's just morally wrong to eat animals for our pleasure, you know. If it's not a necessity, you don't, you know, to survive, killing animals is morally wrong. And I would say, well, they asked. If they didn't ask, I wouldn't tell them. So they asked, and I told them, you know, and so I express my feelings once or twice, but I don't badger, you know, I don't badger my husband when he eats meat, but sometimes when he's eating, most of the time when he's eating meat, I'm just looking at his food, and I'm thinking to myself, that poor animal had to suffer, you know, for him to eat that. And not only that, all the chemicals that they're putting on the meat, God knows what meat is real meat, and how much of it is real meat and how much of it is chemical induced or glue or to put it together or whatever, you know. It's like, I watch Food Inc. If you watch Food Inc. on let's see, is it on, yeah, on Netflix, you could see like those videos, you know, what they do to meat to preserve it. I think that's the video where I saw it. But yeah, it's like, it's ethically and morally wrong, you know, and I know that. And that's why I'm really trying hard to wean myself off of seafood too. And I know I would feel like 100% better if I did. And I'm trying that. So that's one struggle. Another struggle, you know, isolating yourself from family and friends because you're eating wrong, I think, or trying to only hang out with like-minded people like yourself. I think that's wrong. I struggled with that at first. I wanted to be around people like-minded people like me, and I noticed that I was kind of like pushing my friends and family away. So I learned my lesson, and I said, no, I don't want to lose my friends and family. They're my biggest supporters. I have to, you know, I love being with them, and I have to take care of our relationships. You know, I can't lose them, and I have to enjoy my time with them. And the only way to do that is to respect them and not push your beliefs or what you're doing on them. If they're interested and they want to know, I tell them. I'm very open, very helpful and everything. I mean, I love it when they convert. But if they try it and it just didn't work for them and they go back to not eating raw, yeah, that's no problem either. If they couldn't do it, that's fine. I mean, I admire them and respect them for even trying. And I'm the first one that's going to admit that it's not easy. I struggled a lot, and it's doing a lot of research and having to find mentors. In my case, my sister was a mentor, and also watching other videos from people who eat raw to get support through them. And you don't have to follow. I don't like following anyone's lifestyle or any one method, like the 80-10-10. I don't like to follow that, because I found out that in my case, I needed more fat in my diet, and they say that you should only have about 10% fat. I think everybody's different, and everybody should have a different amount of fat in their diet, and that's why I don't follow anything. I think we should do and follow what seems to be good for us, what works for us. Each one of us is different, and everybody, you should find what works for you and stick with it, because that's good. Okay, I think we're gonna gas up, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we're back on the road, and yeah, as I was saying, don't follow anyone, but follow maybe all of them. Get a little bit from each lifestyle. Like, I think it's my sister's friend is Dr. Cousins, Gabriel Cousins, out of Arizona, because she lives there in Arizona. He says that, and he believes, he's the one that did that documentary, 30 days, 30 people, 30 days, that he got them off their diabetic and reversed their diabetes, their medications, and actually reversed it, and high blood pressure. Yeah, so she lives in Arizona. She's done a lot of retreats with him, and that's who she follows. And he believes that we should have 30% fat intake. And like I said, he's the one that believes through the seeds, the sunflower seeds. So, you know, everybody has their different. I think 80-10-10 is from Dr. Graham. So if you look into all of them and you follow a little bit of all of them and see what works for you, that would be great. That's what I would do, and that's what I've been doing, and just kind of adjusting it to me and my my body, what it needs, and never eliminate anything, and never eat just one thing. Never eat like that 30 bananas a day. No, eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, because if you tend to just eat one type of fruit, you're gonna lack other minerals and other vitamins that other fruits have. If you just stick to one type of vegetable, then you're lacking a lot. And that's what I was doing in the beginning. I was just kind of sticking to certain things that I like. Now I'm at a point where I learned a little variety of everything is what what keeps my body healthy. And that's, you know, one of the things that I learned as well. So always eat as much fruit as possible in varieties and seasonal. What's in season is great, because Mother Earth knows what to provide you during that time of year. In the winter, Mother Earth knows that you need a certain vitamin that you're not getting from the sun. So those are the fruits and vegetables that nature makes available. And in the summer, nature provides certain vegetables and fruits that you need during the summer. So, you know, always variety. Variety is the spice of life, basically. And yeah, so you'll be great if you do that. And let me see, I'm trying to think about what other struggles. And peer pressure from other people, temptations. Oh, temptation is one of my biggest ones. But let me tell you, not like you would think. Like, I don't crave candies, chocolates. I crave chocolate, but I get rid of that really quick with making my chocolate ice cream or my chocolate cake. If you see my YouTube channel, on my chocolate cake, I just add extra dates. I'd use dates instead of the date honey or syrup that I make, and make it more sweeter. So yeah, I get rid of, or I make those little what are they? The little balls, the energy balls with cacao powder and stuff, and dates to get my chocolate fix. So that's no issue. I don't crave candy. I don't crave those sugars, because I have all the delicious fruits, the sweet fruits that I eat. The one thing I do crave, and I don't crave meat, because I used to crave meat, but I don't crave meat because my body, I think, has enough protein It's not lacking any proteins. I think when I was lacking proteins, some omega fatty acids, like I talked about before, that's when my body was craving steak, because I was a big meat eater and steak eater. So I don't crave steak anymore. I don't crave it. So I'm assuming my minerals are okay in that department. The one thing I do crave, the only thing I crave when I smell it and see it, which is so funny, is pizza. I miss pizza. It's crazy. And that's like, I crave it because I remember how delicious pizza was. So I eat raw vegan pizzas at raw restaurants, you know, that they make them with dehydrated breads from vegetable pulp and stuff like that, and seeds, blended seeds and stuff. But it, you know, and it takes care of that craving. And then I make my raw pizzas with portobello mushrooms. Those are good. It takes care of the craving for that while. But basically, if I miss the pizza. I don't know why. The only thing that when I look at it and I'm craving it, if I see it like in, you know, commercial or picture or something, or people around me are eating it, I look at it and the minute I see the cheese, I was like, ew, dairy. I was like, oh, mucus, blood, or whatever, you know, in the cheese, and it turns me off. So the craving goes away. And usually I notice that if I eat something, the craving goes away. But yeah, pizza is probably one of the things that I do miss. I wish somebody made like a gluten-free, cheese-free, meat-free pizza. Maybe I would taste that and have it at least once a year or something, but you know, who knows. So that's one of the struggles. And another one is but the cravings definitely go away when you're eating, and keeping your house junk free. That's the one thing that helps me a lot. If I had junk in the house, I would eat junk. If I have like nothing but grains and fruits and vegetables, I easily reach all the time for healthy stuff. Even if I overeat and I gain weight because I overate, like, you know, raw food, or I ate too much sweet fruit before going to bed and stuff, it's okay, because that kind of weight is easy to get rid of than weight coming from junk food. That's the hard kind of weight that's harder to get rid of. So always have your house clean, just clean food in it, and you would eat clean. And always try to eat and prepare yourself before you go out, so you don't get cravings outside of your home. And another struggle is the traveling. Oh my gosh. Airports are okay, because the international airports are pretty good with keeping fruits around. They have these little stands that are called Fresh and something, and they have baskets full of bananas, oranges, apples, and then they have little cups with diced up fruit ready for people to grab, little veggie trays. And I've done that before if I didn't have time to take prep food, or sometimes I don't want to carry all that weight with my carry-on luggage. I don't take food with me, just a couple of dry snacks like I have here. I buy the fruit at the airport, because once I go through security, it's okay, whatever I carry in the plane, it's not going to be that bad, and I'll eat it, you know, while I'm flying. So that airports are good. But driving on roads like this and everything, unless I go deep into the city, 20 miles, 15 miles, and look for a raw vegan restaurant, you're not going to find a lot of them on the highway. You're only going to find fast food chains. You're going to find Applebee's, Chili's, Chick-fil-A's, Burger King's, McDonald's, Smash Burgers, Olive Gardens. You're going to find Texas Roadhouses, Cracker Barrels. You're going to find all the restaurants that are not healthy, and a lot of them have salads and alternatives. So just kind of, we have to pick wisely. We have to be very wise when we pick something, that a restaurant, because you have to make sure it has what you need and what the person that you're with wants to eat. So in this case, it would be my husband, what he wants to eat, and then I have to find something and adjust myself. And most of them have grilled veggies or steamed veggies and salads. So that's not hard, you know, to eat. But I wish they had a fast food healthy restaurant that only served raw vegan fast foods. That would be awesome. Somebody needs to start that fast food chain. Just raw, no animal products, and all raw fruits and vegetables, and just make creative dishes from that. That would be awesome. We need that so bad. I think obesity would be less, and you know, they'd be more healthy people, because everything's about convenience. You know, it would be convenient enough for people to eat this, and if it was like organic fast food chain, oh my god, that's even better. And I'm sure people wouldn't mind paying a couple of pennies more for healthy organic food. So yeah, that would be awesome. That's a struggle. Traveling is a struggle. I prepared myself with plenty of fruit on this trip. Did not bring any dark greens, and most of these restaurants don't serve dark greens. So even though you're eating salads and you can find stuff to eat, you're not gonna get dark greens. You're not gonna get that nutrition that you need for your dark greens. They also, I noticed, there's no Whole Foods. Whole Foods are really not around freeways or highways. I think there in Florida there is one that's right off the highway, but it's kind of hidden. But I really don't see Whole Foods close to highways, because Whole Foods is another place that I love going in and eating, because the salad bars are amazing, and I wish there were more of those close to the highway. But basically that's it. That's a lot of my struggles. I hope you guys like this video. I know it's long, but that's because I'm traveling. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, like I said before, follow me on Facebook. I post daily things on Facebook. Sometimes when I travel, I don't post them as often, but I post daily things and pictures of what I eat, or information on fruits and vegetables. Definitely follow me there. I think I tend to post more than make videos, but I'm really looking forward to our new home, and getting set up so I could start making more food prep videos. So you guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much if you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.